is kicking off 2019 with big savings on their huge selection of over 1,000 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Like a 2019 Camry LE starting at just $19,988. That's a pre-owned 2019 Camry LE for just $19,988. Ready to join the club? We're talking about the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club. It comes with your new or pre-owned purchase, packed with discounts and service on parts, trade-in, cash, and more. Arlington's also giving you buying confidence with iPreCheck. It's powered by TransUnion. With iPreCheck, you can check your credit without affecting your score and get instant payment results custom to you. No social security number required. Shop Arlington Toyota in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. And the track the Toyota is back at Arlington. Follow Arlington Toyota on Facebook and Twitter for contest details, and you could win a $100 gift card plus $500 off your next Arlington Toyota purchase.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. If you've ever had a leak under your concrete slab, then you know how much it can increase your water bill or even your electric or gas bill if it's on the hot side of your plumbing system. Slab leaks can be costly, but luckily they are no match for our Golden Plunger service. If you suspect that you have a broken water pipe under the slab, have our team of professionals come out, locate the leak, and help you get your plumbing back on track. If you'd like to schedule a service call or would like some tips to determine whether or not you have a leak, visit BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
There are lots of reasons to choose Farah and Farah.
The law offices of Farah and Farah, they treated me like I was somebody.
They have the gift of making you feel welcome, and they care about you. You're not just a number or a piece of paper to them. They care about your whole family there.
I've been treated exceptionally well. If I didn't know that they had a large business, I would think I was their only client.
Results in individual cases are based on the unique facts of each case.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on the new ESPN 690. And the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business, and it's beautiful. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. Along with the low prices, exceptional service, and a lifetime warranty, you know what else I really like about Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Their no-risk, no-pressure approach. Imagine leaving the dealership with a new Hyundai Sonata, but then you wish you had left with a new SUV like the Hyundai Santa Fe instead. If you decide for any reason you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty. Get a Hyundai in your family like we have in my family. Schedule your test drive today at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Tell them Brent Martineau sent you.
Sports Center updates at the top and bottom of every hour. And the latest breaking news in sports around the clock. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Hey, welcome back to Mobile, Alabama, and the Senior Bowl. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Justin Kuzart back in the studio, pushing all the buttons, making it all work. Trying to get this video feed going too here on Twitter and on Facebook on ESPN 690, on Twitter on my handle at Brent A.S. Jax. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel too, Action Sports Jax, and follow along on Twitter and follow along on Facebook. And we'll continue to give you some video. It's a little trickier from the road, but we're trying to do it, make it happen, and experimenting a little bit along the way. So appreciate some of the patience on that side. But we hope to do it from the Super Bowl, too, next week in Atlanta while we're away. It's a little easier in the studio, no doubt. We're a little set up a little bit better, but we'll keep working out. Trying to bring it to you on all different platforms. Of course, you can catch us on the TuneIn app, the iHeartRadio app, and stream on ESPN690.com and ESPN690AM. So a lot of different ways. We've heard from a lot of different folks. We met a guy yesterday from Honduras who listens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Honduras?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Worldwide?
Yeah, or as folks that listen to, but pretty cool. I mean, we've had a lot of different states and some countries.
Mm-hmm.
Again, got Andy, I think, over in the UK, and Aussie Jag down in Australia who will check it out. So we're on continents. We're not just in counties. We're on continents, man.
Well, and we have people listening from upper Wisconsin, which is a lot like its own continent in itself, with the accents and whatnot. So, yeah, like I said, we're kind of going worldwide, Pitbull style, and maybe we have to change the name of the show to ESPN 690 Worldwide.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like it. Ballin' and Fallin', we just gave you the ballin', and somehow we got into pregnancy and kids and all these things. I mean, it's amazing where we can get to off a topic, but we never got to Fallin'. So what do you have? Bring the fine folks from all over the continents what you got in the Fallin'.
Speaking of kids or maybe more teenagers, 19-year-old skateboarder Corey Juno. Have you heard of him?
No.
Why do I feel like I'm Jay Leno when I'm always asking you, like, so have you heard of this guy? Like,
Yeah.
Have you seen
I know.
this?
Well,
have
listen,
you seen this?
There's a part of this segment that I like the obscurity of it.
Oh, this is obscure for sure. And I might have some skin in the game here, so we'll see. But so 19-year-old
This is self-serving.
skateboarder. Yes, it is. 19-year-old skateboarder Corey Juno becoming the first skateboarder to fail a drug test by the United States Anti-Doping Association. Basically what happened is obviously or maybe not obvious to a lot of people out there listening, but in 2020, the Olympics are going to be held in Tokyo, and it just so happens that skateboarding was now granted Olympic credibility.
Whoa.
So skateboarding will be featured in the Olympics in Tokyo 2020. Pretty cool to check out. Unfortunately, Corey Juno will be suspended for 6 months on his first offense. Obviously, if he fails again, it'll be more. I'm just hoping, if these skateboarders keep falling, because I mean, and let's not lie to ourselves here. There is some kind of, especially with smoking marijuana. I mean, it is kind of associated with skateboarders. Not everybody does it, but it kind of does have that stigma sometimes.
I feel like it's associated with everything.
It is smoking, yeah, especially nowadays. But I'm just saying, if people start dropping like flies, man, I'm gonna have to dust off my Chad Muskas pro model skateboard and start getting the kickflips back in line here and maybe make an Olympic bid.
You were a boarder?
I mean, come on, man.
You actually,
Obviously,
I can see it. You're a snowboarder, right?
I'm definitely still a snowboarder. Skateboarding, not so much, man. I feel like if you fall on asphalt, it's not going to be as soft as falling in snow. Although my wife, this past Christmas and for my past birthday, has got me 2 skateboarding decks.
Really?
So it's almost like she's asking for me to get out of the house and spend less and less time with her.
This might surprise you, but I skateboarded a bit as a kid.
Okay.
In the neighborhood. I mean, I wasn't crazy about it, but I did it, like, for a while. I mean, I remember going on a bunch and trying all the tricks, the new tricks. Tony Hawk was obviously big.
He was the man.
And so that was a big name. Got it going. It still is a big name in the sport. So X Games, all those deals, it's not surprising seeing in the Olympics, see some of these big names. All right, for me, I've got Ballin'. Already had Ballin'. I've got Fallin', Cole Beasley of the Cowboys. Did you see this story?
I did, yeah.
This is interesting. Cole Beasley comes out, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, and says that the brass, the front office, has favorites that they would like to get the football to. I don't know. I mean, listen, we can talk about some things are fixed in sports, or it feels like it, or conspiracy theories. Jerry Jones strikes me as a guy that will do a lot of things. I just can't believe he's in Dak Prescott's ear and telling him to get it to Amari Cooper. Listen, you don't have to tell me to get the dang ball to Amari Cooper. I'm going to get the ball to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, this whole thing is, I saw this today, and it's pretty ridiculous. I think the only thing that would make it more ridiculous is if he kind of went on a tirade about how, if we put it on Twitter where it was like, hey, hashtag vote Cole Beasley to get the next touchdown pass, or hashtag, Amari Cooper. Let's let Twitter decide it. And it's along the lines of craziness just like that, where it's like, what, so we have guys that are sitting in the press box that aren't really even associated with coaching. Granted, Jerry Jones is, he has his finger on the pulse when it comes to football in the Dallas Cowboys, but Jerry Jones is really calling out who's going to get the ball next and everything like that. I just kind of find it hard to believe.
Yeah, I do. Here's a quote. Honestly, the front office pushes who they want to get the ball to, Beasley said. I haven't been a huge priority in that regard. Maybe that will change, but I'm not sure. More balls come my way in 2-minute drill where nothing is planned. So, again, I think that's getting a little carried away. I don't think you have to tell people to push it in a certain way. Everybody knows who the good players are, who the playmakers are, who the best ballers are. You're going to try to get it in their hands. I think it's as simple as that. It's interesting from a hashtag perspective. I think the NFL is trying to do away with prop bets at the Super Bowl. We'll talk about this maybe down the road a little bit because of they're concerned about some of the influence, like how you could influence 75-plus yards, or there's so many prop bets at the Super Bowl that they're concerned with the optics of that it might come across like, hey, you can kind of gauge, a guy like, say, McVay, right? He can say, hey, I'm going to target this guy a few more times, Now, I could see that. I understand a little bit where the NFL's coming from. Bigger picture on gambling, we'll talk about when we're at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. I want to talk about right now Donald Parham. This is an interesting prospect. From just down the road, Stetson. University. He's here this week in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. He's a tight end. He's 6'8", kind of slight. He's not like this rock-solid Mercedes Lewis type. He's not kind of this bigger guy, even like an Austin Safarian Jenkins. I mean, this guy truly looks like a mold more of like a forward in basketball. I mean, that's his background. It's a basketball background, but we've seen so many times before tight ends can survive in the NFL with a background in basketball. They can make that conversion. Antonio Gates is a great example. There's so many more examples of guys that were thrown into the tight end role. And Donald Parham is trying to do that. Had a huge day against Jacksonville University this year. But obviously you're playing a lesser competition overall when you're playing Stetson football. We caught up with Donald Parham this week at the Senior Bowl. Take a listen. You get to show your stuff on a big stage. How important for a smaller school guy to go against some of the big boys of college football in front of all these NFL guys?
It's definitely a very big role here. Level of competition is a very big thing, and going from small school to transitioning to the NFL, and so it's really a big opportunity for me.
What do you hope to prove in terms of those eyes, and maybe show something that people haven't seen on tape?
That I'm definitely capable of playing at the next level, most definitely.
So you're a former basketball player, obviously at 6'8", you're taller than me. I'm not enjoying looking up to you right now, but as a former basketball player, what was that transition like to go from basketball where it's a little more finesse to playing football where it's physical in the trenches, things like that?
Honestly, my game carried more so over from football to basketball because I was a little more physical on the court than most guys. Even though, yes, I could play, that, even though that doesn't translate well sometimes, but yeah, it wasn't too hard. It was just a matter of mindset.
What is it about guys that play basketball transition to football, but as tight ends? Why is that the perfect spot? I mean, we can name the long list of them. Obviously, one of the best of all time is Antonio Gates.
Most definitely, it's just like you normally see those guys as freak athletes most times, and they're able to, they have the jumping ability and able to separate themselves from different people because you have to be able to finesse and get around guys in basketball, so that kind of translates over to football.
By the way, you think you're looking up at him. What do you think I'm doing?
Good point. So, obviously you have all the intangibles. You got the height, you got some good speed. What are some of the things that you're trying to, in the offseason right now, work on for the next level?
I'll definitely just making sure that I'm getting stronger always and working hard off the field and definitely learning the playbook.
14 catches for 150 yards, by the way, this season against Jacksonville University. So the Dolphins probably don't want to watch this interview with Donald Parham right now. But how exciting is it going to the NFL where guys are doing that all the time now? Not 14 catches for 150, but they're so involved in these offenses. We see it with the Jaguars. One of the big targets for the Jaguars is they need a play-making tight end, guys that get involved with the offense. It's got to excite a guy like you that's about to make this leap into the NFL.
Most definitely. I'm looking forward to the opportunities that I'm going to be given, and I'm just going to have to just take hold of them.
Man, I'm just going to give you some advice. I'm from a small school too. I'm going to Murray State University. I was kind of enthralled with all the bigger schools here, but at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter where you come from, it's where you're going. And if I know anything, man, you got a bright future.
Thank you.
Donald Parham out of Stetson University, tight end. Jags are looking for a playmaking tight end. We'll keep an eye on this guy all week long. Interesting prospect for sure. By the way, Austin Lane now so old that you're giving advice.
I know, man. Well, the beard's coming in handy finally, right?
Yeah, wise man once said.
But I'll tell you what, I was watching film of this kid yesterday a little bit, and it's like I said. I mean, he's got the speed, and that's obvious. The kid runs like a gazelle. I mean, it's a cool thing to even just watch him run because his legs are so long, man. It looks awkward and it looks a little janky, but it's just for the fact that his stride is so long, So it's something you haven't really seen before. But what I had a question was of his separation. Can he get open, in the receiving game? And watching video yesterday, he can. There's a few plays that I saw online where, he was on a linebacker and he created separation. He had the quick feet and he made the catch. So I think good signs from a small school's prospect.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. To see a guy like that, and obviously a red zone capability, right? 6'8", go up and get it and jump and strong hands. And, I asked the question to him about the transition from basketball to football, but it is kind of obvious. if you're a post player in basketball, you need good hands to catch the basketball, whether it's a bounce pass, chest pass, a lob pass, an entry pass of some sort, and then obviously your ability inside against tall trees. So it does make a lot of sense in that regard. I got a little homework for you when we come back. We just did Ballin' and Fallin', heard from Donald Parham. Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson joins us when we come back. We will have our top 5 QBs right now at this moment. If the draft were today, top 5 quarterbacks, not just here at the Senior Bowl, but overall. That's next from Mobile, Alabama on ESPN 690.
It's Golick and Wingo.
Hall of Famer Tony Dungy. Rooney Rule in place. A lot of people say it's not working. What's going on with this, and what could be the remedy for this?
Ron Rivera, minority defensive coach, has been to a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin, minority defensive coach, has won a Super Bowl. Anthony Lynn, minority running back coach. So that just kind of echoes my point. It doesn't have to be quarterback coach.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
I'm Julie Harrell. Accidents don't just happen from 9 to 5. They can happen anytime, and usually at the worst time. Holidays, weekends, and even in the middle of the night. Harrell and Harrell will always be there for you, 24 hours a day. We'll be there to help make it better. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll answer the phone. Call 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Offices, Jacksonville.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
From the NBA to the NFL, we've got you covered. The worldwide leader in sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson with us on this trip. We've all been hanging out day into night, sometimes late night. Actually, not really that late night.
No, it wasn't too bad.
No, but we did go to Veets. We had to check out Veets. It's like a tourist attraction here.
Yeah.
So I had to take you guys there.
Yeah, it was a live music bar that didn't have any live music. It featured about 300 masculine-driven NFL coaches and staff, and about 3 females. It's not a big deal, obviously, because we're all married here. But if you're,
wait a minute, Marcel might have had a problem.
Oh, sorry about that, Marcel. My bad. Sorry about that. Marcel was on Tinder, casting the net very wide along the Gulf Shores of Alabama.
There was no swiping taking place last night.
Because basically there was really nothing to swipe at in Mobile, Alabama, being for the Senior Bowl. Hey, listen. Wives or fiancés, if you're worried about your husband, going on a bachelorette party or going on a bachelor party and trying to do that whole scene, schedule him for the Senior Bowl. But let him go to that, because believe me when I say there is 0.00% chance of temptation in Mobile, Alabama. And you know what? That's okay for me. It's okay for Brent, Marcel. Sorry, dude.
I don't know. Roma at the hotel.
Oh yeah, Roma at the hotel. It's a long story, but I'm just gonna pull a little quote from her, and she said, "This is the girl, by the way, that said Brent was in better shape than I was."
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Haven't lived that down yet, but today she said, and I was by myself. Brent was upstairs still, and she said, and I'm gonna quote here, "Hey, if you see that white boy, tell her I like a little cream in my coffee." Now, aggressive, a little bit.
Yes.
Inappropriate.
Highly.
A smidge. But, props to Brent Martineau again, man. I mean, bringing the fire to Roma, man. She was all about you. And obviously you came down later, you talked to her a little bit, and I think she said she might make a road trip to Jacksonville and come in our studio, which we might have to have security standing by.
Just before their rumors start to spread around here, okay? And in case the wife's listening or anyone else, Roma is a very nice older woman.
Yes.
Probably, what would you guess? 70 years old.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
She was awesome, though. She was she's like my favorite person ever.
Oh, she's
First
great.
of all,
Great
she said
energy.
I'm in better shape than you.
Yeah.
And obviously your comment said enough. But so I love her. And you know, it's funny. I was talking to someone. She had left, and then I talking to someone in the hotel. She's like, "You can be in the worst mood ever, and Roma will brighten up your day."
Amen to
It's
that.
like, and you can really tell she was a very nice lady.
The world needs more. I think the world needs more.
Roma Murphy.
Yes,
She even told me her
absolutely.
last name. She said, "How about?" She started like dancing. She's like, "I'm coming to Jackson."
Yeah, I know, man.
She was she was into it.
She was all about it.
A lot of fun here in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. All right, top 5 QBs. We welcome in Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson. What do you got? Let's begin the list. Do you have a list, or Marcel go first?
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
have a list. I mean, Marcel, take it away, man.
My list, I'm gonna go with at Haskins at 1. I'm slowly but surely on the Daniel Jones train, so he'll be my 2. Will Greer at 3, Kyler Murray at 4, and then Drew Lock at 5 for me. That rounds out my top 5.
All right. Hey, Kuz, how's Marcel sounding back there? I don't want him to sound too. Is he a little better?
He sounded good. Yep.
Okay, good. I'm playing with all the buttons here, so I could be playing with the wrong ones. I've done that a time or two this week.
So, Marcel, you have Murray number 4.
I do, only because I really like his game. Playmaker, he's got all the intangibles, but the size really scares me. I don't know. I know we have the Drew Brees of the world and we have the Russell Wilsons, but I just feel like we have more knots than we have halves.
All right, give me the list again, because quite honestly, I was trying to make sure you sounded good and not listening one bit.
I had Dwayne Haskins at 1, Daniel Jones at 2, Will Greer at 3, Kyler Murray 4, and Drew Lock rounding out at 5.
All right, I like it. That's a pretty good list. Go ahead, Austin Lane.
Number 1, you got to go Dwayne Haskins. He's got the strong arm. He's comfortable in the pocket. I like him, especially for the Jacksonville Jaguars, what they're looking for. Number 2, I've been on him the whole time. I'm on the bandwagon, Kyler Murray. He can make all the throws. He's got a strong arm, athleticism. Obviously, the 2 things against him right now are his height and his weight. It's crazy at the combine. We're going to be talking about, how much he weighs in and how tall he is. Riveting television at the NFL Combine this year. Number 3, I'm taking Daniel Jones, Duke. He only missed 2 games with a broken collarbone. Like I said before, I think he's got the mentality. He's a big guy. He's got an arm. A little question this past Senior Bowl practice of he wasn't really throwing a lot of zip on the ball. I'm okay with that. I think he's just trying to get his feet underneath him. Wouldn't take too much into that. Number 4, Will Greer. The key word with Will Greer and why he's up on my list a little bit is the word gunslinger. You talk to scouts, and the one word that's always coming up with Will Greer is the fact he's a gunslinger. And, hey, if you want to talk about gunslingers, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes, those guys kind of have the same characteristics coming out of college. Obviously, he's got to work on hitting the intermediate passes a little better. He had some problems the first day of the Senior Bowl playing for West Virginia, where they do a lot of short passes, not a lot of long balls. He's got to get better at that, but I think he's got potential. And rounding out my list is number 5, Drew Lock, Mizzou. I like the kid. Plays with a chip on his shoulder, kind of has an attitude. Honestly, the only reason why he's number 5 is still pretty good, but the reason why he's not any higher is the fact that his one knock that I've been hearing from scouts is the fact that he doesn't really take command of a huddle. They've always kind of questioned his leadership abilities, and obviously we talked about earlier today, when you're looking at a quarterback, leadership should be number 1.
All right, good list, interesting list. I think we're all playing from the same pool of QBs. Like, I don't really feel like a Jarrett Stidham or somebody like that's going to really make big waves in the NFL. I mean, you're going to have to convince me, and I think it could use a lot of work. I just think he's one of those guys that, you pick in the 6th round or 5th, whatever. You take a chance, but I just don't see it panning out. I wouldn't invest in it. I'm going to do this twofold. One, we're trying to find a franchise QB, right?
Right.
So we're talking about 5, 8, 10 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to remember in here. And for that purpose, I think the best quarterback we're going to look back on in 5 years out of this class will be Daniel Jones. I don't know if he will be right away, but I do think situation, get in the right spot, guy that has a skill set. I think we might look back on this class. I think Daniel Jones might be the guy. And I don't think he'll be the first. I think he'll be like the 3rd quarterback off the board. But I think we're going to look back at him And I think Daniel Jones is going to be the pick of the litter when it comes to this class of quarterbacks. I will have Haskins in there next. But I'm telling you guys, one thing that concerns me about Dwayne Haskins is lack of games.
Exactly.
We are going off a small sample, and it's the haves and have-nots in college football. You know, when you have the Clemsons and the Alabamas and the Ohio States of the world, there's a separation in talent even within their own division, even when they're playing Penn State sometimes, even when they're playing Michigan State. Like, I get it if you're talking about a Stetson QB or Buffalo QB, but even there, you only really get 2, 3, maybe 4 legit tests. There's some bad tape on Dwayne Haskins. I think it was the Penn State game where the tape, according to some, is not good. So I think he's the popular choice. I'm not as convinced on him. And I think it could be a blessing in disguise that he goes before the Jags have a chance to take him in this draft. Here's what I think. I think, again, if you look down the road, I think this Tyree Jackson kid's going to be good. I think he's raw, but I think he's got special stuff. I think we look at Patrick Mahomes now all of a sudden. I don't know how you don't fall in love with someone who's got special stuff. And I'm not saying this guy's Patrick Mahomes, but I do think he's got some rare arm talent. He's got some intangibles and some height measurements and other measurements that are going to jump off charts and you can't teach.
That, and he's also creative, too, and it reminds me of Patrick Mahomes a lot. It's kind of like you commented yesterday. I mean, the guy's made some crazy throws, man, all over the field. So, in terms of creativity, he's probably one of the best players here.
I think Will Grier, by the way, is going to be a decent quarterback in the NFL. I think he's smart enough to do it. I think he'll have to fight some of the, the system kind of talk. He's a little bit under 6'3" kind of talk. And then I'm going to put Kyler Murray at number 5. Kyler Murray, to me, is a dangerous investment.
Very
Again,
much. Yeah.
I think the height, I think the slender size, I think there will be times where Kyler Murray will get picked 13th in this draft next year, right? Or whatever it might be, 10th. And there will be times where people in Jackson will be like, I can't believe they didn't pick him. This guy's electric. He's unbelievable. He's fun. You know what? There'll be a 4-game stretch like that. But 3 years from now, I think that dude's playing baseball. I don't know if he's playing football anymore. And I just think if I could not be a GM and invest my job into a guy, I don't know if he's even going to be playing football in 3 years. So I have a lot of trouble with that with Kyler Murray, although he intrigues the crap out of me. Like, if the Jags pick him, I'll be pumping my fist because I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the ultimate boomer bust pick for sure.
Absolutely. So there's a little list on quarterbacks. By the way, we got to write down this list because I want to see how much it changes in like a month. Yeah, and I think it will. All right. More to come. Your conversation with one of the QBs you didn't list, Gardner Minshew. And also, we'll hear from Jalen Ramsey from down at the Pro Bowl. Action Sports Jax Stuart Weber checks in. One more hour to go from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron with the Baseball Hall of Fame inducting a few new names. The headline is that times they are a-changing. For instance, before Mariano Rivera's induction, there had been no unanimous first ballot Hall of Famers ever. Now, all of that might change in a hurry. Just ask ESPN analyst Buster Olney. He'll tell you.
I think this raises the standards for the writers who are doing the voting because Rivera has demonstrated that a player can get in with 100%. I think this puts pressure on writers going forward.
Rivera's joined in Canton by slugger Edgar Martinez and aces Mike Mussina and Roy Halladay. If you're a fan in the 80s and 90s, you may remember Lee Smith and Harold Baines. They were also selected by the Today's Game Era Committee to join the Hall in December. Moving to the gridiron, a couple of arrests getting headlines this morning. Darren McFadden popped for driving hammered in the fast food drive-thru. Saints corner P.J. Williams also arrested for driving on the sauce. Listen live online day or night at ESPN690.com.
Introducing Salt Life Lager, the perfect beer for those who live the salt life. Salt Life Lager is also the perfect beer for those who live the outdoor life, the beach life, the fishing life, the festival life, the boat life, the yacht life, the tailgate life, the stay home and relax life, even the sit around and talk about life. In fact, Salt Life Lager is the perfect beer for just about any life, starting with yours. Salt Life Lager, a salty state of mind. Available now at ABC Liquors, Publix, and Winn-Dixie locations. Visit saltlifebeer.com for more information. Must be at least 21 to drink. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no-bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No bull means transparent, easy-to-understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now, we have our new Silverados starting at $24,900, our new Colorados starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. Do you have to wait a long time for hot water to reach your bathroom in the morning? Some of our customers have told me they turn their water on in their bathroom, go make the bed, brush their teeth, and finally the hot water reaches the end of the house. Not only does it waste water, but it also adds additional water and sewer charges on your utility bill. We can now install a pump that monitors your hot water usage daily and moves water down to that side of the house when you need it, without the wait. To schedule or find out more, call us or go to BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
Dave Benyon with Zurez. We love fine Oriental rugs. Ivan just completed his comprehensive training and was certified a master rug cleaner, one of only 140 in the entire country. Oriental rugs are like a fine work of art, and they should not be cleaned the same way as wall-to-wall carpet. Ivan is hands-on with every step of the cleaning process for each individual rug that comes into his shop. Right now, have Zurez wash one rug, and we will wash a second rug for half price. Zurez spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi right now. Future Pro Football Hall of Fame receiver Larry Fitzgerald will return for a 16th NFL season, signing a one-year contract with the Cardinals. After a grueling 2018 season, Fitzgerald still has passion for the game and is optimistic about this year with new coach Cliff Kingsbury, explains ESPN's Josina Anderson.
Look forward towards Cliff Kingsbury, a new head coach, being there in the Arizona Cardinals organization, trying to follow that same mode of so many organizations with the young offensive guru who hopefully is a quarterback whisperer and can turn over that offense, paired with a veteran defensive coordinator.
Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence said he'll have off-season shoulder surgery. No date set yet. Lawrence played under the franchise tag and is set to become a free agent. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has said he is optimistic about re-signing Lawrence. NBA looks like tonight will be another big one for James Harden when he and the Rockets visit the Knicks. Harden scored 200 points his last 4 games. He's scored at least 30 in 20 straight, and he's averaging almost 44 points per game this month. New York, meantime, is the NBA's second worst defensive team.
It's time for some Straight Talk. You can get the same 4G LTE coverage as the big wireless companies, but pay less with Straight Talk. Great excuse for a celebration dance. Get coverage on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Oh, we just made a transaction here at the Cedar Bowl in Mobile, Alabama.
That's how you're supposed to feel right there, Jim.
You did it.
Were you taking notes?
I was. We started the week on TV. You picked up like a big box. There were 36 count of like 12 in each box.
Correct.
That thing was heavy.
Yeah. No, it was, make no mistake about it. The cost to be obese is a big one. And I tried to take that box out of the closet there, the Reese's box. The lady kind of came back. I'm not sure if she's still standing over there or not. It might be something to pursue, as this is like our last night here in Mobile. Might go out with a bang, since the keg isn't even in the lunchroom, I don't think. So I have to do something.
Yeah, you never found the keg.
No.
Disappointed in
Well,
you.
I asked a few players, and they looked like I was crazy. Like they thought I was like a setup or something like that. So obviously, since 2010, the keg, I think, is no more, unfortunately.
A couple things about Marcel Robinson, who just joined us from Action Sports Jax, who does a fantastic job. Great human being. Nice young man. He did not. He turned down Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
And so they brought him actually over some Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
Because, they have other stuff. They have, like, Hershey Kiss and Jolly Ranchers, and so they brought him over. She remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he literally turned it down, said, I don't like him.
I mean, I could sit here and do, like, my candy Power 5 top rankings or whatever like that. We don't have the time, but I don't know how you turn down peanut butter and chocolate. It's just, it is.
I'm not even a chocolate guy, man. I don't even like chocolate.
Yeah.
But I like milk chocolate like that in a candy bar, like Reese's peanut butter cups. Like I don't really love some of the chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big Three Musketeers guy, stuff like that. But I love Reese's. I mean, I don't know how you can't like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Let's be honest. Yeah. So Marcel's sitting over here, and then the lady comes by with what must have been about, I don't know, a 50-pack of Reese's peanut butter cups, and Marcel turns her down, and you could tell it kind of broke her heart a little bit. Obviously, I'm not running the show here. You are, Brent. If it was me, I probably would have let Marcel go right there on the spot, because it shows that he might lack, I don't want to say common sense, but the fact that he...
I think you just did.
Yeah, okay, well, common sense. And the fact that he turned down peanut butter cups, I'm not mad, just disappointed.
Yeah, we also had oysters last night, and he wouldn't touch them either.
Yeah.
And they were good.
Yeah,
We had,
kind
like,
of
stuffed
picky a little
oysters.
bit. Oh, stuffed oysters were a good call. I mean, any oyster really is really good, but what was the
It was
order?
like oyster... I'm not like a connoisseur when it comes to oysters, but it was like... I think it said oysters Bienville.
Okay.
Bienville, like Bienville.
Yeah.
So it's got like kind of like breadcrumbs and that stuff, kind of like I was talking about the stuffed quahoe.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it was on point. I had the shrimp and grits, which I've had a million times. This is the first time it was like a grit patty that they had.
Yeah,
it was like three grit patties.
Like cornbread almost.
Yeah, it was like a cornbread kind of grit thing. Fantastic. Yeah.
More oysters for us. That's,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, more Reese's peanut butter cups for us. I mean, look, if you're watching on the street, we got a ton of them here.
Yep.
Eating a lot. By the way, I don't think that's on your diet for fight camp coming up.
Let's keep down the
At
DL,
some
huh?
point. Yeah, we won't tell everybody. Who knows where Doug Marone and Tom Coughlin are eating and Dave Caldwell are eating here in Mobile, Alabama, but hopefully they'll get a good meal. Doug Marone is here and talked to the good folks at Jaguars.com yesterday. And so we wanted to share a little bit of what the head coach of the Jaguars had to say about here at the Senior Bowl now that his coaching staff is complete. Here's Coach.
Really full steam ahead as far as the playbooks and things of that nature, and that'll be right after the Super Bowl. This is really when you come down here to Mobile, this is my first introduction really to, watching the players and seeing them. You watch a little bit of tape before you come down here just to get a background of them, but really it's just a start for me as the head coach, or really for any of our coaches. We looked at, free agency, the unrestricted free agents, so, we were able to get that done, so that took a bulk of the time right after the season, and then now it's time to shift our focus to half days working on the playbook, the other half days working on the draft. But you have a scouting department that's been doing this all year round. You can disqualify guys. If they might be on the ground a lot or do things that gosh, maybe they're not athletic enough, or you see them in this type of situation, maybe they don't handle the coaching well. And that's the one thing about being down here, when you're able to see that live, you're actually watching them getting coached, you're actually watching them going out there and doing what their coach wants them to do. And that's something that you really can't really get watching film. You need this time, for obviously the priority for me is to make sure that we get together, the offensive staff, obviously it's going to be a new playbook. We're going to put it all together and what's best for our team. And then defensively, we're looking at a lot of things of where we want to change and to improve ourselves. So that part I get excited about. The draft, you come in, you write the evaluations, you see, where you can bring people in to help your football team. That's an exciting part too. So there's two things always going on at the same time for the coaches, where they think, the scouts have put in all the time. They've done a heck of a job. It's been year round. And I think for them, these moments, coming up to this, obviously the Senior Bowl, then you have the combine, and then obviously you have workouts, and then, then it's the big day for.
As Doug Marone talking to Jaguars.com. More of that on Jaguars.com. You can check it out when you get a chance. Those guys put at the Senior Bowl. It's interesting with Marone because he's always handed off the player personnel side, said, hey, I'm not part of that. That's Dave Caldwell, that's Tom Coughlin. I wonder if he'll step into that a little bit more, or you've got to always understand, too, he's done that from a public stance. I mean, how much say does he have in it? How much influence does he have in it? How much does he go down there and say, hey, I think we could use these guys? There's got to be some of it that Doug Marone is involved in. But I will say publicly, he's always kind of stepped back and said, I'm not going to worry about the personnel part. I'm going to coach the guys that give us, those guys down there are scouting all year round, and they'll give us the best players we can get.
No, agreed. And, you know, and it is kind of a different aspect of football, you know. I mean, with the coaching, it's more the X's and O's. I mean, you're not worried about literally like the figures and the numbers of, you know, what does this guy run the 40 and how much can he bench press, things like that. But at the same time, if you're Doug Marrone, you got to be around that part too, just because you have to be on the same page. So you kind of have to know like where the scouting's going, what they're thinking, so that way on draft day you're not taken completely aback. I mean, you have to be on the same page. Communication is key. So even though he's not really big in the scouting department, he's still talking to those guys and kind of, you know, showing face and whatnot.
You know, bigger picture here, I think I think character is going to matter to these guys in this draft. I think this was a tough year inside that locker room. Big personalities, big-time players, that's an okay thing. You can manage that. You have to be able to. There are big personalities everywhere. I mean, again, New England seems excluded from a lot of this because of the way they've set this up, the respect level that's in that building for Belichick and Brady, the success they've had. They can almost bring anybody in there, and almost it feels like they'll get it right, you know, and you don't have to worry about that.
Randy Moss, even when Randy Moss played there, you know, he never had any, I mean, obviously he got in trouble, but it wasn't inside the Patriots organization. That was off the field. But as far as, you know, in the Patriots organization, like you never saw really any crazy interviews and things like that where it was all about his ego. I mean, it was all about the team, you know, and then that's the power of the machine that is the New England Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots are like a rehab center at times for the NFL, it feels like, you know. I mean, it's unbelievable. They'll try anybody. I mean, not speaking lightly, I mean, they have tried a lot of different personalities, and some of them have fit there in New England. But again, that's why they're different. These other teams, like the Rams, have to deal with these personalities. Ndamukong Suh, Dante Fowler. You know, I don't know what kind of personality Aaron Donald is, but just some of those guys. Todd Gurley seems like a pretty good dude. Doesn't really say a whole bunch. Not really a vocal guy, loud guy. Although that was a pretty loud Instagram post he had. But you know, the Steelers, they're like the poster child for this, because the Le'Veon Bells, the Pounceys, the Ben Roethlisberger, the obviously Antonio Brown. I mean, they have all sorts of characters in that locker room. And it's good to a point, but I do think this year the Jags will focus a bit on, okay, what's a good fit? We got to get this fit right, because the fit was wrong last year. Yeah, we had injuries. Yeah, we didn't play as well, but the fit as a football team wasn't right last year in Jacksonville.
And especially after a losing season, you know, anytime you lose, those issues with the, you know, like the ego-driven players and the distractions and everything like that, that magnifies by like, you know, tenfold. I mean, there might be problems with the Patriots in their locker room. I like to think that there's not, but even if there was, we would never know about it because they're always winning. So it's hard to tell exactly if they do have those kind of ego-driven guys. You heard the story with Wes Welker when he left there. I'm sorry, with Danny Amendola. When Amendola left there, went to Miami, he said how, you know, in the locker room it was miserable. He had to go into work every single day because he wasn't having fun. You know, so is there some kind of, you know, problems in the locker room? We may never know because they're always winning.
Yeah, and winning hides it. We've talked about it a bunch, but also what's interesting, the last couple of years, some dirt did come out inside the Patriots facility, like that there was a power struggle between Robert Kraft, the owner, Bill Belichick, the head coach, and obviously Tom Brady, the franchise player, greatest of all time. And there's still that a little bit. People wonder. I think I saw a headline just yesterday where is there a rift between Belichick and Brady? I'm not saying those things are wrong. I'm not saying those things are made up. But there's no way, in my opinion, those things can be so toxic, because I don't think even with the greatness of those guys, you win if it's toxic. So there must be a manageable level of it.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, and always sometimes the media things get kind of blown out of proportion. You're seeing it right now with Carson Wentz, you know, the paper saying how he kind of lost that locker room a little bit. Players are coming out now in support of him. So sometimes you got to take these articles with a grain of salt, obviously, but there's always some truth to the story as well.
I always think there's a little bit. There's usually a little fire when there's smoke. It's just how big of a deal it is, and winning hides it all. Speaking of, are we about to see an image reconstruction from 20land? Is that underway at the Pro Bowl in Orlando? We'll hear from Jalen Ramsey. And Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber was there today with Ramsey. We'll talk to him next on ESPN 690.
Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690. And the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business, and it's beautiful. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. Along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else I really like about Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Their no-risk, no-pressure approach. Imagine leaving the dealership with a new Hyundai Sonata, but then you wish you had left with a new SUV like the Hyundai Santa Fe instead. If you decide for any reason you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty. Get a Hyundai in your family like we have in my family. Schedule your test drive today at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Tell them Brent Martineau sent you.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, your home AC filter each month, and your mattress every 8 years. But when's the last time you thought about your roof? If it's getting close to time to replace, you need to visit JNMRoofing.com. J&M Roofing is Master Elite certified and Shingle Master certified. Ask about our multiple finance options, best warranties in the business, and we have 5-star Google reviews. Visit JNMRoofing.com. JANDM Roofing.com. We're the ones with the umbrella. We got you covered. JNMRoofing.com.
Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
There's a place in North Jacksonville where babies are born in the region's most modern, comfortable labor and delivery suites, where life-saving emergency care is available around the clock, where top UF Health doctors offer the latest advances in medical care. That place? UF Health North. Conveniently located off I-95 on Max Leggett Parkway, UF Health North is quickly becoming the region's top choice for health care. Learn more at north.ufhealthjax.org.
What's up? It's Justin, producer of Action Sports Jacks here on ESPN 690, and we've got your chance to win some tickets to March Madness at the Jacksonville Memorial Arena. All you need to do is enter this secret word on our sister station, WOKV.com, under the contest tab. The secret word is center. The word is center.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
If you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, on the Action Sports Jacks YouTube channel, you're just playing a mean drums, man.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
You all right?
Kind of got lost in a little
different
bit.
world.
Well, I'm trying to rock it like a hurricane. What do you want me to do?
Nothing wrong with that. Brent Martineau, Austin Elaine, Marcel Robinson here. Action Sports Jacks, Stuart Weber, Justin Kuzart back there in Jacksonville. You just to give a top 5 on the whiteboard, on the magic of the whiteboard. Yeah. Top 5 candy. What'd you go with?
Top 5 candy bar rankings. Number 1, peanut. Number 2, butter. Number 3, cups. Number 4, nuff. Number 5, said. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Next question.
I think my wife would agree. She said, hey, bring me one of those. That's my favorite.
Oh, so, we got you.
We got a few of them. Ready to come home back to Jacksonville after this show tonight. All right, let's talk a little Jalen Ramsey. We're talking maybe a little image reconstruction for Jalen here in 2019. We'll find out. We're going to get Stuart Weber's thoughts in just a moment. But before we do that, I want you to hear from Jalen. Action Sports Jacks down to Orlando at the Pro Bowl. Jalen making his second straight Pro Bowl. Of course, an All-Pro a year ago. No doubt one of the best corners in the NFL, solidifying that status once again, although a lot of people, because of the wins and losses, don't think this year was as good as last year. Let's get some of the thoughts for a few minutes from down to Orlando earlier today from 20 Land.
But really, it's just fun being out here with other guys, top guys in the league. Kind of being reunited with Derwin and some other guys I know really well. Gus out here, that's been cool for me. It's just been a good experience so far. It's only day 1 though.
Were you bugging Gus to play some safety with Derwin?
Was I bugging him to play some safety? I wasn't bugging him. I did mention it to him earlier in the locker room. But that probably won't happen. I mean, we'll be on the same side majority of the game though. We're gonna try to scheme that.
Is this a fun week for you? Do you hang out with a lot of these guys, Derwin, or do you kind of try to relax, or how do you? What's in store for Jalen Ramsey this week?
It's a super fun week, man. For me, I'm gonna enjoy all the festivities that the NFL and the Pro Bowl have set up for us. But I'm also gonna hang out with my family, including Derwin. Derwin's my family. That's my brother. So we're gonna go to Disney. We're gonna take our families. I'm gonna take my daughter, my girl, my brother and his kids gonna come. Parents coming. All of Derwin's family coming. A whole lot of people coming. We're gonna go to Disney. We're gonna go to Universal. We're just gonna have some fun.
Now that we've had a couple of weeks to reflect back on the season, is there anything you can put your finger on as to just why it went bad the way it did?
Nah, kind of just let it go, man. Our last game was in 2018, and that's where I plan on leaving it, and that's where I plan on leaving the season. I'm just enjoying the moment right now, being here at the Pro Bowl.
What, if anything, do you know about Coach Walton? Have you talked to him at all yet?
I mean, I know he used to coach for the Giants. I hit up some friends who play with the Giants and asked them about him. I have not met him personally. I'm sure I will. Yeah.
You ended up with a top 5 defense. I know you want to put it in the rearview mirror, but you ended up with a top 5 defense, and yet most people felt like you didn't perform as well as you could have defensively as a unit. Do you look at it that way or no when you reflect on the season?
Yeah, you can look at it that way. So you can look at it a bunch of different ways, but the way I'm gonna look at it is I'm gonna worry about it next year because that was in 2018.
Okay,
new year, new me.
You switched up the coaching from a safety coach.
Y'all killing me, man. What's up, baby? That ain't my name though. That was his nickname all throughout college. Junebug. My bad. Little Junebug always messing with me. I mean, it's different. Not really though. It's kind of split up a little bit like that during the year. But
Jalen, look ahead to 2019 for me then, and there's going to be obviously a big change on the offensive side of the ball, but a lot of the core pieces, obviously, of the defense are going to be back. So look ahead a little bit for us, and what could be in store for the Jags in 2019.
I couldn't tell you. I'm very optimistic about the future. I don't know all the changes. I don't control the front office. I let them handle that. Yeah, I don't control my future. I just trust in God, and what will be, will be.
Did you have a good relationship with Coach Jewell? I know that I didn't see your tweet, but we're all still blocked.
Yeah. So I don't even know what you're really referring to.
Good luck tweet, I think. Did you have a good relationship with him or no?
Good luck to who?
Yeah, so good luck to the Carolina players.
Oh yeah, Corn. Me and Corn grew up together. Me and Rashawn grew up together. They're my brothers, man. From back home, 615. We always trying to represent. They're my guys.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
What I mean by tweet? Shout out to my guys. Y'all follow him on Twitter. Corn Elder, y'all follow him. I think his Twitter name is like Eric Corn 15. Rashawn Garden, I think his Twitter name is like R Garden or something like that. So y'all follow my guys, man.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
That's Jalen Ramsey earlier today down at the Pro Bowl in Orlando. Dan Hicken asking some questions along with John Reed from the Florida Times Union, Mike DeRocco from ESPN as well. So that last bit, by the way, was, first of all, I thought it was fun because D-Rock said how we can't see because we're all blocked on Twitter, which we still remain, a bunch of us, myself included. But apparently Jalen Ramsey tweeted in the last week or so kind of good luck to his guys that he was just mentioning because Perry Fuel, the quarterback coach and defensive back coach, was going to Carolina. And so a lot of people, took that as like good luck playing for this guy, and he just turned and said, well, I was saying good luck to those guys. So who knows what he's talking about? Why would he tweet that? That's a little bit of Jalen being Jalen, a little cryptic Jalen right there. But I'm really interested. I want to bring in Stuart Weber right now. He's back in the studios. And Stuart, did you see a different Jalen at all? I feel like we're going to get a reconstruction of Jalen here. I don't think we're seeing the GQ magazine Jalen. I don't. Jalen is Jalen, but I do think he's now a little bit more concerned about his image coming off a rough 2018 from an outside perspective view.
I don't think we'll ever see the GQ Jalen because that's with the national folks. He's a different person when he does the interviews with the bigger outlets than when he holds court with us and kind of things get skewed in different ways. And you kind of heard it there in the question talking about 2019 where Dan was trying to move it forward because he didn't want to talk about 2018. So, all right, let's talk about 2019. And the second you mentioned the word offense, he something clicks in him where he's like, all right, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm done with this answer. And so, and that's kind of how he's been in the past as well. So I haven't seen anything different, at least from the one interview today. It was the same guy.
What was it like down there today? Because I know he was taking I know he did some stuff for Jaguars.com. I mean, he's obviously showing off his persona. He wasn't turning down interviews. You know, I mean, was he having a good time? I mean, what kind of mood was Jalen in?
He was in a good mood. I think he will, at least for the foreseeable future, be that guy who his interviews are going to be fine if you get him one-on-one in a separate interview. But anytime you get a group setting, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think you'll really get as much out of him. And I think he just kind of closes off and he goes into that defensive mode when you kind of get to that way of interviewing him, because you know you got 5 or 6 people all around you. You got the people jumping in with questions, and you know it just takes a different tone for him in his head. This is my how I feel, what I think when I'm part of these scrums, and I'm kind of a sort of a neutral party there because I'm just there with the camera trying to make sure the shot looks good for a situation like today. But in my opinion, it's a different him than when he's doing a one-on-one with a specific reporter, or maybe off on the side doing a fun thing with a player. I think once he gets into those scrums, it just changes.
Yeah, let's bring Austin in now back on this. So Jalen probably made his own bed in terms of the GQ magazine and some of the stuff that he said in the past. I still think there's an unfiltered part of Jalen that's always going to exist. But kind of what Stewart's saying, some of these guys sometimes feel like they're getting attacked, right? I mean, how much conversation is that in the locker room? Like, man, these guys coming after me. And again, it often is they're getting attacked because either their play is really not good, and that's usually like a quarterback, or they kind of made their own bed with their own comments and said something, and now, now when they get questioned about it, they don't really want to answer it. They wish it would go away, and it's not going away.
Look, every guy in that locker room is different. They have a different personality. They had a different upbringing, and they have different egos and whatnot. When you're talking about Jalen, obviously he's really outspoken. The guy will speak his mind all day. And when he had that GQ interview thing, I mean, he was telling it like it is, I guess, basically, or as he saw fit. Now, the problem with that is the fact that obviously it was a distraction. You could tell it kind of affected the team a little bit. I think Coughlin made some comments on it, but at the same time, I mean, Jalen still had a really productive season. I mean, he still played well, and he was hurt as well. So, yeah, he's talking a lot, but he's still backing it up. But the problem is that when you talk that much, it's going to cause distractions to other guys in your team, because now other guys have to take responsibility of answering the questions that you created from this GQ interview. So, while he's still playing at a very high level, I mean, obviously he's in the Pro Bowl for a reason. It's the fact that you have to ask how it affects the whole team in general.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll see what we get in training camp. We'll see. And Stewart might be right. There might always be this little animosity with the local media, which I still think is about as foolish as it gets, because local media in Jacksonville, relative to where you would be playing
There's
elsewhere.
There's a lot worse places
come
be
on
part of the local media.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a hard time with that, look out elsewhere. So I think that's a fair statement too. I mean, I grew up in New England. I mean, I've worked with the New York media before. I mean, it's a totally different animal. So, and this media around here is, some people say soft. I'm not saying it's soft. I just think it's an easier time. It's more of an intimate relationship with this media, because the Jags are like the biggest thing by far in town. Stewart, give us a sense of the Pro Bowl. I've been to one when it was in Miami. Maurice Jones-Drew. Didn't really spend a lot of time down there. I didn't go last year. You've obviously been now. What's it like in Orlando? Is it there to stay?
It wouldn't shock me if it's there to stay, just because of the logistics of it for NFL players and their families just being able to hop right over to the theme parks right now. And, you get through that 45-minute, shorts and T-shirts walkthrough out there that they called a practice today. I mean, you're already on the Disney campus, so I mean, you're already right there, and you're able to hop on over and go enjoy the day. It wouldn't surprise me if it stays in Orlando just because of that. Although I never got to see what it looked like in Hawaii. I'd imagine Hawaii is not awful.
Yeah, that's pretty good
as far as a place to go to. But no, I mean, it was cool. Obviously, they have it all set up for the fans. Fans can kind of line the little practice fields that they have there. It looked to me like they had some autograph sessions they were setting up for as we were walking in there and getting things set up and ready to go. And it looks like they have a good setup there, and that doesn't surprise me considering it's Disney. They're used to these kind of events, especially the wide world of sports people. I mean, you think about how many sporting events they put on with all the youth stuff that they tackle week after week all throughout the year. It's a good setup, and it wouldn't shock me if it stays there. Now, I don't know what the actual game day experience will be like on Sunday at the Citrus Bowl, but I'd have to imagine the game day isn't as important as the days leading up to it when you're spending time with family and teammates.
All right, Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber down in Orlando today at the Pro Bowl. Don't go anywhere. I want to ask you a little bit about Calais Campbell. And when we come back, we'll also have Stay in Your Lane with Austin. And he goes one-on-one with Gardner Minshew as well, another quarterback here at the Senior Bowl. We're going to wrap it up from Mobile, Alabama in the next half hour or so. Don't go anywhere, though. We've still got a lot more to come at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron with the Baseball Hall of Fame inducting a few new names. The headline is that times they are a-changing. For instance, before Mariano Rivera's induction, there had been no unanimous first ballot Hall of Famers ever. Now, all of that might change in a hurry. Just ask ESPN analyst Buster Olney. He'll tell you.
I think this raises the standards for the writers who are doing the voting because Rivera has demonstrated that a player can get in with 100%. I think this puts pressure on writers going forward.
Rivera's joined in Canton by slugger Edgar Martinez and aces Mike Mussina and Roy Halladay. If you're a fan in the 80s and 90s, you may remember Lee Smith and Harold Baines. They were also selected by the Today's Game Era Committee to join the Hall in December. Moving to the gridiron, a couple of arrests getting headlines this morning. Darren McFadden popped for driving hammered in the fast food drive-thru. Saints corner P.J. Williams also arrested for driving on the sauce. Listen live online day or night at ESPN690.com.
Offers are with approved credit and not in conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
Looking for that perfect car, truck, or SUV to drive your new year in the right direction? We've got some great deals you can really warm up to at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Bay Meadows. Drive a brand new Ram truck and save thousands. Gas or diesel, $1,500, $2,500, and $3,500. All priced at up to $12,000 off MSRP. $12,000. Get 0% for 60 months and save even more. Drive a new Jeep Renegade from just $16,988. Go home in a new Cherokee from just $19,988. Choose any car, truck, SUV, or minivan from our inventory and pay thousands below what you'd expect to pay. See them all at JAXCJD.com. Save up to $6,000 on Charger or Challenger and up to $9,000 off MSRP on a new Chrysler 300. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Doing our best for every customer every day. I-295 and Bay Meadows.
Boss, you're not going to believe it.
Whoa, settle down, Buttercup.
It's all over the internet. You know the ding-dong video cameras that are all the rage?
Yeah.
Well, reports are flooding in that engineers and executives at the company had highly privileged access to camera feeds.
Huh?
Boss, they've been spying on customers.
Really?
Yeah, just do an online search for doorbell spying. It's incredible.
Wow, I spy with my little eye.
Yeah, and since they've been bought out by that big mega corporation, you know customer surveillance can't be far behind.
Ooh, can you say Big Brother is watching?
No kidding. Boss, I don't understand why these folks don't just get a safe touch system. No one's hacking or spying on those things.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why we still have to live by the Crooks or Us motto. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690. And the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. And it's beautiful. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. Along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else I really like about Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Their no-risk, no-pressure approach. Imagine leaving the dealership with a new Hyundai Sonata, but then you wish you had left with a new SUV like the Hyundai Santa Fe instead. If you decide for any reason you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty. Get a Hyundai in your family like we have in my family. Schedule your test drive today at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Tell them Brent Martineau sent you.
From Daytona Beach to Brunswick, now ESPN can be heard loud and clear everywhere on one of the most powerful AM radio stations in Florida. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
You watch Action Sports Jacks on CBS
on Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Hey, welcome back from Mobile to Jacksonville. We're at the Senior Bowl here in Mobile, Alabama. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Marcel Robinson with us as well. And back home in the studio, Action Sports Jack Stuart Weber, along with Justin Kuzart, finishing up a week in Mobile on the road, or at least a few days. We'll be back in the studio all together on Thursday and Friday. Then we hit the road to Atlanta, Super Bowl 53, right after that. How's the road so far, Austin Lane?
Road's been going good. You know, obviously a lot of the food is paid for thanks to the credit card from the company. So, you know, I'm not overstepping my boundaries and charging up lobster tails and whatnot. But it is refreshing to know that someone's got your back when it comes to the food aspect of it. And yeah, the road's been treating me well. I'm still getting my workouts in. Don't get it twisted. I am eating Reese's peanut butter cups, but I'm also burning them off. So that's the most important thing.
Well, two things. First, we figured that's the least we could do is pay for, like, your dinner, considering we're never paying you to do this at all. And secondly, you are the only one that has worked out here.
Yeah, true.
Although I will say with some of this, you worked out, Marcel? Robinson worked out, a little sneak workout.
How are you feeling right now, then?
Listen, I feel like I got a lot of ab workout in over the last couple of days, sneezing and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
And by the way, I don't care what the heck you guys do. Roma made my week.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and well, thankfully we didn't tell a story either where Roma said that about you, you know, yesterday, where it looked like you were working out. But let's not forget, last night, sitting in the lobby, a lady came up to me and was wondering what kind of scent I was wearing.
She did.
What kind of fragrance I was wearing. That was very unusual.
So what, do you, like, you introduce yourself to her or someone like that? Like, somebody said hello to you?
I actually paid her $10 to come over and say that to me.
You
so
did?
I help my ego out in front of you.
So you actually did that?
No, absolutely not. No, she just came out of nowhere and asked me, you know, what I was wearing, and I told her what was up, and I said it was kind of hard to get, but I gave her the website, so hopefully she gets it for her husband or whatever. She said she was going to wear it herself, which is kind of weird, so I don't know. It's more of like a man smell.
Very good.
Yes, 40% of the time it works all the time.
Very well
Sex
done,
Panther,
Weber.
nice call.
Weber, what's up back in Jacksonville in the sports world? The Gators got to win. The Noles got to win. How about the Gators, man? They went on a 3-point barrage after everybody was about to jump ship at halftime, right?
Yeah, it was rough at halftime. Down 13 at the break, and then they just come out on fire. A history-setting performance, by the way, because Noah Locke and Kayvon Allen combined for the most threes by a duo in school history, which is saying something through the years. Obviously, you had the sharpshooter Lee Humphrey back in the championship days, but you never really had the two at a time. So you get those two guys, and they snapped the crazy stat of the night last night, which was that Florida was the last team in the entire country in Division I to have a 20-point score in a game, and they get two in yesterday's game with 31 from Allen and 27 from Noah Locke.
You know what's crazy about that stat is I was thinking of that stat during the Duke game, because Zion Williamson and which one is it? Is it Reddish or Barrett? They've combined. They already have 10 games where they've both scored 20.
I mean, they're both goods. Could be anybody.
Yeah. So, but they've both scored 20 points in 10 games this year already, and the Gators hadn't had one guy to score 20 points yet. So it shows you the separation. Good win for the Noles too. They were down a little bit. They had to get that win to break a 3-game losing streak. So maybe back on track for the Florida State Seminoles. Anything else happening? We got the River City Rumble tomorrow, JU and UNF. I'll have to call that one on ESPN+. Hopefully my nose will be clear by then.
Really? Yeah, we can stand it on the radio, but TV, I mean, come on now, right?
I don't know if anybody can stand it on the radio either.
We had the ladies' version of the Rumble as well last night, and UNF really had a great battle with JU. It was JU coming out on top in the end, but it's nice to see that series competitive, because in the past it hasn't been, and to see UNF getting back up to a competitive level was pretty cool.
All right. Also, one other note, Jacksonville Giants are home tonight. They'll play at Sandalwood High School at 7 o'clock. They're making the rounds. Sometimes they'll play at Veterans Memorial Arena, but not all the time. They've played at Ridgeview a couple of times. I think they're playing at Ridgeview again on Saturday, but they're also playing at Sandalwood tonight. So Jacksonville Giants, go check them out. Of course, all they do is win championships in the ABA. Weber, you got up early this morning, man. You must be exhausted.
Yeah, no. Plus, I anchored last night, and I stayed late doing some interior decorating later than I probably should have because I got locked in on a project which you're going to enjoy later on.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it when I get back late tonight.
Spent way too much time on something so inconsequential, but I did stay late and then got up bright and early to come back to the station and head down to the House of Mouse to go see some Pro Bowl practice today.
All right. How's the traffic in Orlando? Awful as always?
It's always awful. It's never good down there, but we boogied on down there and got there, a couple minutes into practice, but we got there and we got the job done.
Hey, was the Masked Singer on last night? Or is that tonight?
It's on tonight.
Yeah, I think that's
right?
It's either tonight or tomorrow night.
Okay. Hey there, Stuart. Austin Lane, Masked Singer expert here, talking to you. Wondering, what are some of your dark horses for some of the singers here? Who are you expecting to get revealed next?
That's a good question. I got to see who the lineup is for who we got in the second half. I've always been more locked in on the first half of performers. Like I know Love Monster, Peacock, of course, and the Lion.
All the hits.
Isn't the Monster like the most intriguing of all right now?
Monster is intriguing. I'm thinking T-Pain.
I was about to say the same thing, man. I think it's T-Pain as well.
True.
That would make some sense with the clues, of course. It's all about context clues. But yeah, no, I just enjoy the whole spectacle of watching the show.
All right.
Yeah, and fans of the show, be on the lookout tonight. The Crow is singing tonight, and I'm going with Ricky Lake is the Crow. I'm going to predict that. I think she's going to be gone tonight. Ricky Lake, the Crow.
Talk about that at the water cooler tomorrow. How about that? All right, Weber. No water cooler for you tomorrow. You get the day off tomorrow and Friday. Go enjoy a couple of days. Nice work this week. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. They were not sponsored by any sort of snack food at the Pro Bowl.
Oh, so you want a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup?
One? I mean, more than one would be great. I did have a conversation last night on the anchor desk with one John Bachman about said Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, which I also rank number one, without a doubt, in the candy rankings. But he had never had one out of the freezer. Personally, anytime I buy a bag of them, I just throw the whole thing in the freezer, and that's where I pull them out of.
Come on, Bachman hadn't done that?
He's never done that, which, I mean, grew up in Iowa, maybe it hasn't gotten there yet. I don't know. I mean,
you said it, not me.
Yeah, maybe it'll get there soon.
Hey, as long as they have good tight ends and maybe they're coming to Jacksonville, I don't really care.
Yeah, there you go. So as long as you guys bring some back, we'll be happy in the sports office, and we'll have a good weekend.
We'll have a couple for you. All right. Nice job, Weber. Good job down to Orlando today at the Pro Bowl, and the rest of the week take care of business back in Jacksonville. We'll catch up with you, hopefully, in the next couple of days. Stuart Weber, there he goes. Marcel Robinson here with us. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane as well. We got another segment to go. Before we get out of here, can you give us quickly your stay in your lane?
Yes.
At least on cruise control. Then we'll pump the brakes and also have your interview with Gardner Minshew coming up after this.
So cruise control, supposed to be Kalen Sanders. Thanks a lot, Brent, for taking my son.
I'm sorry about that.
So with cruise
you call it audible.
Hey, so being a kid from growing up in the 90s, I got to go with Edgar Martinez.
Very good.
One of the legends of Seattle Mariners. We're talking Ken Griffey Jr., Jay Buhner, Randy Johnson, Joey Cora. One of the worst stances ever in MLB baseball. He might need hip replacement surgery, but you got to talk about Edgar Martinez. Of all those guys, they all left. Edgar stayed. Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Edgar Martinez.
He made the DH sexy, man.
He did, man.
DH isn't going anywhere. Now he's in the Hall of Fame.
And I'll never forget, as a kid playing baseball, I used to carry 3 bats on my shoulders because I remember a baseball card with him where he had 3 bats and they're on fire. This is back in the 90s where it wasn't special effects, so I'm sure those bats were actually on fire. And I was trying to be like him, man. So Edgar Martinez, cruise control. Congratulations, man.
Professional hitter. Stay in your lane, pump the brakes, and an interview with Gardner Minshew right after this on ESPN 690.
It's a Saturday night primetime showdown between two of the NBA's best.
Curry, pull a 30-footer straight away. He's good.
The Golden State Warriors head east to face the Boston Celtics.
Forward jumper, got it. Kyrie Irving.
Could this be a preview of the NBA Finals?
We just got to become more consistent, and once that happens, we'll run over everybody in this league. I can guarantee it.
Saturday at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Rev up your engine and save on a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota is kicking off 2019 with big savings on their huge selection of over 1,000 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Get a 2019 Corolla LE starting at just $14,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE for just $14,888. Want to join the club? Get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, and it comes with your newer pre-owned purchase, packed with discounts on service and parts, trade-in cash, and more. Arlington Toyota is giving you all the buying confidence you need with iPreCheck, powered by TransUnion. With iPreCheck, you can check your credit without affecting your score and get instant payment results custom to you. No Social Security number required. Shop Arlington Toyota in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Track the Toyota is back at Arlington. Follow Arlington Toyota on Facebook and Twitter for contest details, and you could win a $100 gift card plus $500 off your next Arlington Toyota purchase.
Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. You know the moment when your pipes have sprung a leak and there's water everywhere, or you wake up one of those few cold mornings and you find out the hard way that you have no hot water? Call us, Bill Fenwick Plumbing, for those unexpected moments that threaten to ruin your day. We know you're busy and we want to help you get back to your normal schedule as soon as you can. So next time you have one of those moments, call us or go to our website, billfenwickplumbing.com. We're here to help.
I really couldn't play golf. I couldn't even walk very far.
Here's Nancy Anderson to talk about her experience with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist because of the reputation of the different surgeons and the hospital experience, and just overall, I'd heard so many great things. And truly, my life is enriched tenfold because now I can do anything.
Get your body moving again with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Find out more at se-ortho.com.
Hi, this is Dale Murray from Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Superstore in Stark, where the customer's always number one. Now that's going the distance. Shazam! Don't fumble your next purchase with those big city dealers and pay those big city prices. With our unbeatable customer service, selection, and 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty on every qualified vehicle means there's no need to shop anywhere else. It's simple. If Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram doesn't have it, the manufacturer doesn't build it. And we'll trade anything from old Nike gear to a case of beer. Be American, buy Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Check out our new inventory during the Start Something New event and compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. You'll see why everybody finds the end zone at Murray Superstores. Now that's a touchdown. Highway 301, half-mile north of Walmart. I'll be waiting for you. And remember, at any Murray Superstore, it's all about you. Shazam!
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick and Wingo. If you want to win every sports debate at work, listen to us every day on your way to work on ESPN 690 or at your desk, ESPN690.com.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau
on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Come on, man, let's go. I mean, you got to finish up. Finish up the whiteboard magic. What you got? Positive vibes for Lindsey Vaughn?
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
You know, she's had a couple of knee injuries, and she's kind of contemplating stepping away from skiing now competitively.
How old is she?
That I couldn't tell you. Not sure.
All right.
Yeah, but just I mean, from one athlete to another, man, I know what it's like with injuries, and it sucks. It's taxing. You know, she didn't have the most successful Olympics last time, so with whatever she decides, just send her positive vibes, man.
34. That's what she's 34?
She's 34.
Marcel Robinson. Got
On
the
it.
Google check.
On it.
Hey, by the way, that's what I often say from one athlete to another.
Yeah. I mean, you know what, man? The way you've been battling with these allergies and everything and this runny nose, I'm getting ready to put you in the athlete category.
By the way, how many professional basketball points do you have?
Can't say I have any.
I have 9.
Explain, please.
Yeah, I played for the Jacksonville Giants on 3 different occasions. Scored 7 one time, 2 another, and I was shut out by the best defender of the ABA another time.
All right, well, there you go.
See that? From one athlete to another.
I don't have any professional points.
No,
Can't
but
say I do.
but you would think that Marcel Robinson, the way he talks about his dunking and catching ability, that he's like a multi-sport star.
Well, some of us are just naturally gifted. I didn't ask for these gifts.
Speaking of basketball, pumping the brakes over here. I got to pump the brakes to Devin Booker.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope I don't pronounce it wrong, but Gorky Dang? Does that sound about right?
Listen, here's the deal. Let me teach you a little something.
Yeah, give me some advice here.
Nobody knows how to say it anyway.
Okay.
Most likely, just say it fast. You nailed that thing, by the way.
Gorky Dang.
There you go.
So just sound confident with it.
Absolutely.
All right, and so Devin Booker, Gorky Dang. We had the potential to be an all-out fist fight last night in Phoenix as the Minnesota Timberwolves were, they were in town. And a fist fight almost broke out, but it quickly turned into a tantrum that resembled two 16-year-olds acting pissed off that their parents took away their Mercedes. There was one point where Devin Booker was getting held back by a 50-year-old, and I'm being generous there, might have been 70. A 70-year-old basketball coach was holding his jersey, and for whatever reason, Devin Booker couldn't break that guy's kung fu grip and ended up getting pulled back. So I feel like if Manu Ginobili used to get fined for flopping, let's go ahead and find these guys for fake fighting, because it was ridiculous.
That's a weak fight.
It was a weak fight. Booker was talking that smack, looking like he was ready to bring some noise, and then you could tell at the end of the day, was not about that life.
How about that? A little NBA chatter. By the way, your guy, Marcel Robinson's back with us. Your guy, Russell Westbrook.
my
He's
guy.
like mad at the world right now.
The world's usually mad at him too, so it all pans out. It's he's a very angry individual.
He put on a show though last night.
He did. I like it.
Another triple-double in the books, I assume, right?
Yeah, at this point, it's just kind of, it's what we do.
He threw a monster jam though.
Yeah.
That was a nice play. All right, you caught up with Gardner Minshew. Interested? You were looking forward to this interview too because he's a cool cat, right?
So Gardner Minshew, yeah. When I saw the rosters come out, it's definitely a guy I had circled. This ended up being my favorite interview. Quarterback from Washington State, was at East Carolina for a bit, committed to Alabama, and then actually transferred to Washington State. As you know, he kind of came into a bad situation his senior year when Tyler Helsinki, committed suicide and came on that team. With him and Mike Leach, their personalities were great and really brought the team back. They went 11-2, dominated the Alamo Bowl against Iowa State, had a really successful season. Threw 18 touchdowns and 9 picks, was in the Heisman talk for a little bit. So this is my interview coming up here with Gardner Minshew, my favorite personality of the whole Senior Bowl.
There's a couple of guys that don't stay in your lane here.
Yeah.
This thing could swerve all over the place. Our final interview, at least of the first few days of the Senior Bowl, Austin Lane and Washington State quarterback and NFL hopeful Gardner Minshew.
You're known for rocking your 1970s disco outfits every once in a while, especially in San Antonio. Draft day comes. Are we going to wear some kind of Disco Jerry suit, or are we going more casual, more traditional with the draft?
I don't know. I think with the draft, I may break out the Brett Favre jorts if I rock out anything. That's a little more my style.
I see you, man. I see you. So playing for Mike Leach, obviously that's quite the past. What was it like playing for him? What kind of personality did he have, and how did you guys mesh together? Because obviously you have a personality as well.
Absolutely, it was awesome. Coach Leach, he's not a guy that takes himself too seriously, and he really lets everybody else let their guard down and be themselves. And I think you kind of saw that on our team, man. We had a bunch of personalities, a bunch of guys that loved to have fun and compete. So, man, we were just out there playing free, playing loose, and I think it's one of the reasons for our success.
You come from Mississippi, you go to Washington State. What was the culture shock like? Do you consider yourself more of a Mississippi boy still, or are you more of a Washington guy now?
Now, Pullman's home now. Home now, but you know what? I think I was more of a culture shock for them than it was for me. Because I was just I'm a little different. They weren't used to the accent, some of my antics, but you know what, man? We somehow we meshed and it ended up being great.
So what are you hoping to do here at the Senior Bowl? What are you trying to convey to the coaches? What things are you trying to get across?
Yeah, well, one of the things is just in practice, how you practice, how I lead, how you bounce around from drill to drill, how you take control of a huddle, how you elevate the guys around you. All these things are something that you can't see on the film. And then you're here with all these great guys. You want to prove that you're the best. Not that you just belong, but you're the best. And I want to go throw for throw with these guys, and I'm fired up to compete.
Last question, like I said, I was here back in 2010. I know how stressful this environment can be. How important is it just to have fun, to keep being yourself, and just kind of enjoy the whole experience?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep it light, man. You're going to do a ton of it's a blessing to be here. And you got to see it as that. And then, you know, the football part, that's the fun part. That's the escape from it all.
Yeah.
So I'm really fired up.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew with Austin Lane this week here at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. He is a cool cat. He looks kind of smallish to me.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits in this draft. I think he's a middle-round guy, and again, he'll have the label of he's a system Mike Leach, Washington State, kind of likes to, zing it all over the yard. But a lot of people like Minshew. In fact, when I asked on Twitter, I said, hey, who's the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl? I had several responses for Minshew. A lot of people like him. So it'll be interesting to see what he does the rest of this week.
And speaking of his mentality, too, we've been talking about it all day, what kind of mindset you bring to the table. I mean, this is a kid that he knows who he is. He had a lot of leadership qualities at Washington State. I mean, I don't want to say he turned that program around, but he kind of put him in new heights. I mean, they almost won the Pac-10. If it wasn't for Washington, at the last second beating them, they definitely would have won the Pac-10. So with Gardner, obviously I'm cheering for him. Like I said, it's my favorite interview of the day, of the whole Senior Bowl. I mean, other quarterbacks I interviewed, I actually interviewed Trace McSorley as well, and I kind of threw him some out-of-the-ordinary questions, and you could tell like he was taking it seriously and didn't know how to answer them. With Gardner, man, he was laid back, almost like the type of like a Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused, just going with the flow, like, all right. So, from that kind of personality standpoint, I think he can be a great leader. Obviously, I think he can adapt if he's adapting to my crazy questions and whatnot. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on because he also has an arm. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm talking about his personality and everything and what he's off the field. But on the field, the guy can play ball, too. So let's keep an eye on Gardner Minshew as well.
Yeah, we did our top 5 quarterbacks. None of us, as we bring in Action Sports Jax, Marcel Robinson for the last couple of minutes, none of us picked Minshew in the top 5. So he'd be a little bit of a surprise if he were to either fly up radars, draft boards, or really have a ton of success in the NFL. It doesn't mean you can't make a career of it in the NFL, though. You see enough of Minshew play?
I haven't seen much tape on him. I will say at the one practice that I was able to attend that he was at, they were kind of going in the other side of the field, but he looked sharp and he made some of the nice throws. I will say, I want to say that he was paired maybe with Will Greer that first day. And if that was him, I would say he was pretty sharp.
Yeah, I think these quarterbacks are pretty close together.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a ringing endorsement. Usually you want to see some separation, and we might. We didn't get a chance to see practice today. Again, just a reminder, they went indoors, and there's not enough room indoors, so the media couldn't check it out. But tonight at like 7 o'clock on NFL Network, I think they're going to show some of it. So we really just have yesterday to work from, and that was the first day back out. So It'll be a week of totality, then you get pro days and everything else. But I would not be surprised to see this group, maybe outside of a Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones may separate himself. I think the rest of this group is going to cluster together and have varying opinions throughout this whole process.
I would agree.
Agreed.
That's it. It's as simple as that. You
Yeah,
guys
I guess.
just like that.
I could argue with you, but you basically
argue with me.
I'm trying to think of a point to argue with you, but no, honestly, you pretty much hit it on the head. Honestly, we're gonna need some of these quarterbacks here at the Senior Bowl to separate themselves. The game's gonna be crucial as well. But when you're talking about the intangibles, things like that, they're all kind of in the same category.
All right, you guys had Haskins as your top quarterback, right?
Yes.
And I got Daniel Jones.
Yes.
I think he has. We'll look back on it in 5 years. We'll look back at it maybe like 3 or 4 weeks and see where we rank him after some of the interviews and what scouts are saying, GMs are saying. It will be a lot of fun and interesting. Back in studio tomorrow. We're on our way back to Jacksonville, Florida.
No speeding.
No. Uber ratings count. For Marcel Robinson, Austin Lane, Justin Kuzart, Stuart Weber, and all the guests here in Mobile, Alabama, and in Orlando from the Pro Bowl. I'm Brent Martineau. I'll see you on TV tonight.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron with the Baseball Hall of Fame inducting a few new names. The headline is that times they are a-changing. For instance, before Mariano Rivera's induction, there had been no unanimous first ballot Hall of Famers ever. Now, all of that might change in a hurry. Just ask ESPN analyst Buster Olney. He'll tell you.
I think this raises the standards for the writers who are doing the voting because Rivera has demonstrated that a player can get in with 100%. I think this puts pressure on writers going forward.
Rivera's joined in Canton by slugger Edgar Martinez and aces Mike Mussina and Roy Halladay. If you were a fan in the 80s and 90s, you may remember